This is the S&P 500 one-day reading for May 10th, 2023. It's currently April 8th, 2023, 11:49 p.m. Eastern Time. And the shuffle file we're about to play was created on February 26th, 2023 at 5:40 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this file right here. The overall theme and behavior for the day, we have a significant move higher, standing out on a one-day chart at least. It's likely comes out of a decline or in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds. There might be a lot of stuff on the news, negative headwinds, and people expect us to go lower. Instead, we continue to move higher. But we likely opened lower, rally along a diagonal trend line in the pre-market, and bump up against breakthrough horizontal resistance, bump up against another resistance, and then pull back to somewhere between those two price levels with a pretty significant drop around the open through multiple support levels. Behavior around the highest high, it's nullified. Nullified cards are a little difficult to read. It means that there's no correlation between the significator here or the correlator here and any of the timeline cards, meaning that this rotation along a sideways rotation along key support, rising to meet the nearest key resistance, and then falling back down and continuing to rotate sideways along the key support near the high. That behavior is there's chart behavior that takes place that kind of makes that high irrelevant, and there's probably not much rotation there just because it's like nullified. But my sense is we probably have we'll get into it in a minute. Behavior around the lowest low, we have a period of volatility and a sharp drop that stands out in that period of volatility. So again, we have that decline through multiple support levels around the open. There's a resistance level that's highlighted in the first half hour that we've come up against many times before, and it failed to break through. It'll be a familiar resistance. Also kind of similar to the Eight of Swords with multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance probably takes place here. So there's a low and a crest. There's a crest and a trough here between 10 and 11. There's a rally that offers an opportunity to open up a short position possibly. I need to look into that a little bit more deeply. Because this is a most likely location of a lowest low. Again, not in the third to the fourth. So very likely have a very prominent low here on the 10th. And there's a cross correlation here with the May cluster on the 1 year. So what that means is that the Princess of it's a cross congruency actually. The Princess of Cups appears in the low position here in May, and very likely in a low position here in May on the 1 month as well. A cross congruency. They're usually pretty significant. So in the midst of a decline on the 10th, we'd be yeah, it looks like in the midst of a decline on the 10th, you could open up a long position. I'd say probably here between like 2 and 3 o'clock. There'll be a sideways fluctuating decline, and that'll precede a fast sudden move higher and a big move to the upside towards. The closer we get to the close, the more likely we are to be pushing up towards a distant resistance. And then it's an important price level again on at least a 1 day scale, probably a 1 month scale. Okay, so we go from like this rally here, and there's probably a crest followed by a decline, and then a pop and drop between like 11 and 12, like a pop and drop. And that drop ends with a fast sudden move higher somewhere between like 12 and 2, most likely, and then we're bound by the upper end of a range there around 2 o'clock. Is it the upper end of a range? We're bound by the upper end of a range there around 2 o'clock. We decline into this trough, or this low that another prominent low here between 2 and 3. And that sideways fluctuating decline offers an opportunity to open up a long position. And probably close that short position there as well, because you're going to have a big move here. You could scalp a long position here if you wanted to, a day trade. Open up a long position, close it at the close, or you could open up a long position and probably hold it until the following day for a swing trade. But we'll get into that in more detail in the next day's reading. Yeah, so it looks like it's probably a pretty down day until the end of the day, and there's like this big turnaround, this big move to the upside there. So out of like this decline, a significant move higher, even though it seems like we're going lower, would fit this futility card pretty well. And you can't combine that with the volume card, which is talking about negative or bearish volume being the main volume to at least be important volume. I'd say that's probably what's taking place. A lot of decline, and then a big move out of that decline at the end of the day. We open higher the following day, we establish support, and then there's on a one-day chart, and then there's a big move higher standing out on a one-day chart. That's May 10th, 2023. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Most importantly, my friends, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You do so here at the resource tab of our website, tarotfortraders.com. 5% of the profits back to the channel here at Cash App, PayPal, 5% forward to one of these charities. Make sure you spend that money out of love, and the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold from all directions. Blessings, my friends. I'll see you on the next one.